Hi, I'm Nancy Ann Martin with Recipes for Bodybuilders and people who just want to eat healthier. Today we're going to make a delicious homemade granola. I call it Nancy's No Nuts Granola, and it's completely customizable. Before we get going, I just wanted to explain we're going to be changing the name of the YouTube channel and the Facebook page to Recipes for a Better Body. That kind of ties in with my Facebook fitness group, Better Body, and we feel like it's going to reach a broader audience and be able to help more people. Okay, let's get started making our granola. So the first thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 300 so that it's heating up while we're mixing our ingredients. So the ingredients we're going to use today are 4 cups of rolled oats, 1/4 cup of oat flour, 1/4 cup of each sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and flax seeds, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/4 cup of each agave syrup, honey, and canola oil. Then there's going to be a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 3/4 cup of raisins or dried cranberries. Well, I'm about to get started with mixing up our ingredients. I want to mention before we get going, here in drought-laden Wichita Falls, Texas, we are getting a really nice thunderstorm and some heavy rain outside. Very grateful for it, but it's probably going to make some noise. So if you hear something funny, that's what it is. But we wanted to make sure we got a recipe to you this week, so we decided to go ahead with this anyway. So let's get started with mixing. The first thing we're going to do is just mix our dry ingredients in a large bowl. So there goes my oats and my oat flour and my nuts. Now I took this recipe I kind of adapted another recipe I found. One problem I have with buying organic and natural granolas is, of course, the nuts, because I have that tree nut allergy. So I kind of custom made this. So you can replace any of these seeds with chopped walnuts or pecans or whatever you want. I mean, to me that sounds sickening because it makes me sick, but for you it might be delicious. So you're not limited to what I'm using here. I will say what I'm using here makes a really yummy granola. So there goes my sunflower seeds and my favorite, the pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of flax seeds. Now normally I grind my flax. In this case I'm not going to. I want to give it a little more texture. I'm afraid of having too much of a flour type consistency to this. So those are going to stay whole this time. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm just going to take my spoon and mix all of this up very quickly and thoroughly. Now I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to mix up my wet ingredients. So here we go with a 1/4 cup of agave syrup. This recipe is so good that I have a hard time keeping my hands off it. So I'm going to send a majority of this back with my husband and let his co-workers, who have been really nice with their opinions and watching my videos, have this they get to sample the recipe this time. There's my honey, much thicker than the agave, harder to get out there. My canola oil. Now another option with this, sometimes I will melt a 1/4 cup of coconut oil and put it in there. Today I'm just going to go with canola, a little bit more of a heart-healthy oil there, and my teaspoon of vanilla. I absolutely love vanilla. So there we go. Give this a quick stir, just like that. Now this is smelling really good. I know you can't smell it, but if you could, you would start understanding why this tastes so nice. Now I'm just going to pour this over top of my dry ingredients. I'm going to give this a stir. So the raisins aren't going to go in yet. The raisins are going to wait until we're partway through the cooking time, actually. So this is what it looks like when it's done mixing. It looks a little moist. I'm going to take this jelly roll pan with sides. This is one of the larger sizes. And I'm just going to spread this in there as evenly as I can. So now we're going to take our granola that's evenly leveled in the pan and we're going to put it in our preheated oven for 25 minutes. Cassie, move out of the way. Good girl. She likes her warm spot there on the floor. Set my timer for 25. So our timer has gone off after 25 minutes in the oven at 300, and I'm going to take this out for a minute here. Keep my oven on because we're going to put it back in a second. I'm going to sprinkle my raisins all over this. That's 3/4 cup, or you could use dried cranberries. And now I'm just going to mix it up because the stuff on the bottom, you know, is touching that hot metal, is cooking a little bit faster. So I'm just going to give it a quick mix. And the stuff towards the edges cooks faster as well. That's the outside is getting a little bit brown actually. So I just want to make sure it all gets scraped up from the bottom like that. A little messy. I'll push it off on the floor. The dog will eat it. She'll be happy. So here we go. I'm going to put it evenly in there again. Oh, that needs to come to the inside. Got some brown pieces. This is smelling so good. I wish you could smell this. And it feels a little bit soft, a little mushy, not mushy, but springy. That's normal. It's okay. When it cools after we're completely done, it will crisp back up. So now I'm just going to put it back in the oven. Set my timer for 12 minutes. And we will come back when it's done. So the timer went off after 12 additional minutes in the oven, and I've removed the granola, and you can see it's a nice brown color. The raisins, when they first come out, are puffy, and that's normal. They go right down to raisin size very quickly. I gave it another very quick stir just to get it shifted around on the hot bottom of that pan. And now I'm just going to leave it alone so it'll clump up a little bit more until it's completely cool. At that point, I am going to transfer it over into airtight containers, just like this, and try to use them within about 10 days. Usually this recipe gets eaten much quicker than that because it's absolutely delicious. Serving size for this is about 1/2 cup because it does have the agave and the honey and the oil in it. It is calorie dense. However, it's also nutrient dense, and that fat in there is a healthy fat. As far as timing, if you're worried about nutrient timing, probably the best time to have this is before lunch. It's also good either before a workout because of all the complex carbs in the nuts and the oatmeal, breaking down why you work out to supply your muscle nutrients, or right after because the simple carbs are in there from the fruit and the agave and the honey. I'm going to post the recipe for this on Recipes for a Better Body on Facebook. The nutrients will be there. I do want to add, I have managed in the past, in an effort to raise the protein in this a little bit, to add 4 scoops of vanilla protein with the dry ingredients before I put it in the oven. And that raises the protein count per 1/2 cup serving about 6 grams or so. So keep that in mind if you want that option with this also. So for this recipe and other great recipes, you can go to Recipes for a Better Body on Facebook. Stick around afterwards for some links. Also, want to add, I also have a fitness board on Facebook called Better Body. If you want to, I'll have my husband put a link in for that after this that hopefully will work. Sometimes we have a few problems, but you can also just search Better Body on Facebook. It's a private group and lots of information on there and very educated people and people from all fitness levels. If you click to be added, one of my admins will add you, and then, or I will, and then you will be able to see what's going on there and have a nice active fitness community that you can ask questions and participate in. Thank you very much and have a great week. Bye-bye. I'm going to post the recipe for this on, I forgot the name. What are we going to be? Recipes for a Better Body?
Yeah.
Recipes for looking hot.